friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm so excited to finally have a video up for you guys. Initially this was going to be a fall decorate with me in the living room. However, I am going to do kind of more of a tour style for the living room, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you the overall kitchen, dining, and living room all together for the tour. So I made a couple of changes in my living room that I feel have made a huge impact, and believe it or not, it was on a budget. And one of the main things that I decided to add was this beautiful shelf hutch corner thing on the side right here on this corner. I had a small little bookshelf of sorts with a little lamp on the top. I don't know if you've been following me for a while, you would have noticed that I had that on the corner. So I switched it out for this little bookshelf corner hutch deal on here on this corner. Originally it was white and I got it for $50 on Facebook Marketplace, and I didn't want it white. I wanted it a different color. I just wanted to have a different feel, still cottage style, still farmhouse and that nature, but I wanted it to be just a little bit more bolder. I do love color, so I wanted to see if maybe I can achieve that. So I ended up mixing two colors. I bought putty and fresh sage from Rethunk Junk line of paints, and I ended up kind of mixing them together until I achieved the color that I was looking for. So this is kind of like a taupey green gray color. Can't really explain it, but it's really pretty. I don't know if the camera is doing it any justice, but in person it's beautiful. At least for me, I love the color, and I don't plan on changing it anytime soon. But I don't know if you're this way, but for me, anytime I make a change and I love it, I feel that I have to change other things to kind of keep up with the newness of a new piece, even though it's not new, it's new to me, but it just makes the space look a little bit different. So I started like a snowball of effect of changing things in the living room. So because I added it, the baskets that I had by my gallery wall behind or above my couch, I should say, I had to take them out because it was taking too much of one side of the baskets on this side. So I ended up changing the baskets somewhere else, and I went ahead and went to Hobby Lobby and bought these really budget-friendly sconces, and they're so simple but beautiful, and I believe for my small house it makes a nice little impact. So I do like black here and there. In my home, I feel like I like a little bit of that industrial cottage, French country, farmhouse feel. I don't have a specific style. I think I just like to combine everything. I liked them. They were $3.99 with the half off price. So I got two of them, bought some candlesticks, and put them there on each side of the gallery wall. And the gallery wall, I decided to just change out the pictures. I usually have the gray and white family pictures year round. I decided that this year I just wanted something more cottagey for this fall time. So I did rip a couple pages from a vintage book that I had, and there's, you know, maybe some people that don't like the idea of tearing pages. I think it gives the book a new life because, let's face it, I'm not going to read those vintage books. I use them for decoration and style purposes, so I feel that if no one's going to read it, at least I give it life in some other form. So I ripped some of the pages and put them in the frame, and I think it looks beautiful. I think it just gives it a nice touch to the fall time without being so fall in your face. And all I did is on the little shelf area, I put two pumpkins on there, and I think that was just a nice simple touch to add fall onto the little shelf there. And on the bottom, I DIY'd this no vacancy sign, and it was from an old beat up piece of wood that I had from when I first met Tyler. I had written a nice little verse and stuff, but when we moved it broke apart, so this is a little piece from that. And so I decided to stencil it out and just write no vacancy, and I think it adds a nice touch. It's not specific to fall, but I feel that the color and just the old look, it just makes it look nice and cozy in this space. For the couch, if you're new to my channel, you wouldn't know this, but if you've been following me for a while, my couch is originally brown. I ended up buying a couch cover from Amazon, and I got it in the color ivory. I will try to link it down in the description in case you're interested. I liked it because it was a 4-piece. It came with an individual covers for the seats, and then just a big cover for the bottom part. And then in the bottom it had a little clasp, two different clasps, so that way it doesn't slip off the couch and you're constantly trying to cover it back up. So I like that. We've been living with it for about 2 weeks now, and I really love it. Originally I was a little hesitant to get a light color slip cover for the couch, but I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger because I can always take it off and wash it. And I didn't really invest a whole lot. I did have a discount card for $25. I believe it was $51. I ended up paying $26 with the card that I had. So I only invested $26 instead of having to buy a whole new couch. And the whole purpose for that was because I didn't like how the Hutch bookshelf color didn't shine next to a dark colored couch. So that's why I went with this light, and I feel that now both the couch and the corner bookshelf really shine, and it really looks cute and cozy, cottagey in here. And like I said, the best thing is I didn't have to buy a whole new couch to do what I wanted to achieve. For the pillow covers on the couch, I didn't invest anything at all. These are all slip covers that I already had with pillows that I already had here in the house. And the orange plaid one was from last year from Target. So I just added it in the middle. It adds a little bit of burnt orange to the space. Just again, fall without being so fall in your face. When I saw the new bookshelf corner hutch thing, I really had to think about what I want to do because it has a triangular space. It goes deep into that corner, so I needed to figure out what I wanted to do, and I came out with a solution where I wanted things to zigzag and kind of have a pattern without you noticing. You'll see what I mean as I'm showing you the corner bookshelf hutch thing. To start off at the very top, I had a thrifted basket that I got for like 50 cents, and I thought it was a nice color, nice shape, and exactly what I needed to have at the top of this corner bookshelf. And then on the first level, I decided to add this ceramic pitcher, and I got the 2 candle holders from Hobby Lobby when they were half off and added them. I think that tied in what was going on in the gallery wall along with the new sconces. So I like to pull different things together, different items together with the same color, so it all kind of ties in and doesn't look like they're 2 separate entities. So the fall floral that I have that I got new is actually from a thrift store, and I got it for 85 cents a piece. And I added that to the corner with a old Bible that I had it facing out so you can see the red pages, and had an amber glass that I already had in my stash with a little white pumpkin next to the amber glass, and that's what I did for the first level. Underneath it, I did get this landscaping picturesque type of picture. It's from Hobby Lobby, and I got it for $12, so I don't think that was too terrible of a buy. So I just decided to leave it on its own. Then underneath that, I added some more of my stash of thrifted books, and also a cake stand with some pumpkins and some more of candlesticks that I already had in my stash decor. And I just put that together and just added another fall floral on the opposite corner side of that level. And then underneath that, I did purchase this basket from Hobby Lobby when it was half off. I believe I paid $15. I do love my wood tones with black and greens and blue colors. So I'm really happy that everything is tying together with just that little basket being there. And then in the bottom of that basket, I added a galvanized basket or tin with some pumpkins. I added a big Clorox amber glass towards the back corner, and then in front of that I added some books and then a plant on there that has a little bit of an orange tone at the base. So I thought all that gave me fall vibes. And then at the very bottom, all there is a basket where I have my books and my Bible, because that's like my corner section. So whenever I want to do my devotional or read a book or have some downtime, I usually just pull out a book from that section. So anyways, it's too low. Nobody is really gonna notice, oh, that section doesn't have decor. So I left it as is. By the living room window, I left it pretty basic. I already had this arrangement back in the summer refresh video on my dining table. I moved it to the table by the window in the living room. I just think adding the hydrangeas to this side of the living room ties in with the kitchen. And then in the bottom, I do have a basket that has a pillow and a simple blanket in it year round. So I just added some pumpkins. I just went crazy and just added all the pumpkins in there. Next to that table by the window, I have my armchair, and I just threw a green throw blanket and called that a day. In the back wall of that chair, I added the baskets that used to be in the gallery wall above the couch. I just switched them and kind of did them a little diagonal styling there with some greenery, and I did add some orange tones and some fall florals that I got from Hobby Lobby this year. So for the front door, I didn't add a new fall wreath. It wasn't in the budget and I didn't have time to DIY one, so I just left the one that I normally have year round there. I figure why not? It's okay to do that at times if you don't have it in the budget to purchase new items. I figured it fit well anyways because I do have greenery throughout the house still. I don't completely take it down for fall time and just have orange tones. I do have greens, oranges, yellows, creams, and you know, all those other colors. So I left it at that. On my little farmhouse hooks here by the front door, I just left a simple little seagrass purse that I have there with some of that thrifted floral fall greenery that I got at the thrift store. I do have this tin sort of weird vintage thing that I just store some decor in there, and I like the kind of galvanized look it brings into the living room. So I just threw some fall florals, a pumpkin, and then next to that on the wall, leaning on the wall, is this old newspaper, I don't know, tray where they used to hold like the stamps and stuff. You've probably seen them at vintage stores, antique stores, or thrift stores. So I have that leaning next to it as well. And it actually hides the satellite dish or satellite cable thingy where we get to see regular channels on the TV because we don't have cable. So it actually hides that. I'm always hiding everything. So I actually remade my TV stand, which actually was a dresser at one point, and I took out the two dressers from the first level and use that to kind of, I don't know, decorate. That was the mentality at one point, and it was this old dark gray color. If you were, again, an old follower of mine, you would have seen that in videos past. It was just not a good color, but I lived with it and decided to finally get to changing it. I don't know how I feel about it 100% now, but I think it looks better than what it did in that gray color. So I kind of wanted to actually find a dresser that was made out of wood. I couldn't find one, and the ones that I did find, they were crazy expensive. So I decided to hold out until I can find one that is cheap enough for me to get and make over. So for now, I wanted to make this DIY apothecary type of dresser, and I couldn't, like I said, find the wood one, so I wanted to achieve a wood tone color. So I did buy a hazelnut from that same brand that I've been using, Rethunk Junk, and I used a variety of colors to try to achieve this, and I did want it to look a little bit of patina in there, so I did have greens in there, browns, and then blacks, and I distressed it a little bit and then added completely different knobs that I thrifted. So I got like 10 knobs for $1, which is not bad. And then from Hobby Lobby, I grabbed these locker labels where you can put like vintage looking labels on there, and they're actually from the paper studio, so I don't think they're hardware. They were actually like for scrapbooking. I ended up grabbing them and just adding them there. They're not going to be functional, so I just wanted it for looks, and I didn't want to order them from Amazon because I can't wait. I'm very impatient that way, so I already wanted to get it done. So I went ahead and did that, and I got 2 baskets from Hobby Lobby. Again, they were half off, so I ended up paying like $6 for each of these black baskets, and I added a couple pumpkins to one and a book and 1 pumpkin to the other. On the other section that's open in the TV stand, I did end up buying a wood crate from Hobby Lobby, and I painted it, stained it, and stenciled H & Co with white paint and kind of roughed it up a little bit just to make it look like it was an old crate, and it's actually housing the PlayStation. I didn't want it in view anymore, so I used the crate to hide the PlayStation inside of it, and just added some hydrangeas there for a nice touch of fall, or just to feminize it a little bit because it does look a little grungy and industrial now that it has a new makeover. On the sides of the TV, I just kept it simple. I added a little faux greenery on one side, a candlestick, and some other faux greenery, a couple of pumpkins, and called that a day. So far for this fall season, I've kept things pretty simple in the kitchen and in the dining area. And to start off in this section of the living room, I feel that it's been pretty simple, not crazy in your face fall. But I did want a spot that kind of screamed a little bit more fall, just because I have a little one who's more aware of the seasons and the holidays now. You know, my little Ezra, he's 4 years old now, so he takes notice, and I want him to remember mom, you know, decorating and having those fall feels. So on my faux mantle, I kept the same decor that I had for early fall. I left the mirror that looks like a cathedral shape, and then I left the wooden shutters, and in front of that wooden shutters I put a fall sign that I actually DIY'd. It was an old Thanksgiving sign that I no longer liked and planned on using, so I decided to make over the picture, and I just used some black chalk paint and then painted the border of the picture a nice green color using that fresh sage from Rethunk Junk again. And then I just wrote fall market list, and then just listed a couple items there and put that in the center. Now on the bottom, I did keep the apothecary little storage cubbies that I had thrifted a couple weeks ago, and also included it in my early fall decor video. So if you saw that video, you would have seen that same style. Then next to that, I added a brass or golden candlestick holder with a candlestick next to it, and that is something that I already had that I thrifted many months ago. And then next to that, I just added an amber glass that I purchased like 2 years ago, and added some of that thrifted fall greenery in it, and I think it adds such a beautiful color with all that combination together. And then I just added one of those antique books next to it, kind of leaning towards it. On the opposite side of the foam mantle, I added a picture and just added some dried greenery that I got from Hobby Lobby last year, and I still had it in my fall bin, so I just added that there, and then added a faux green plant that I've had for forever, and then just stacked a book underneath the picture. Now underneath the foam mantle, I added a wreath that I got from Hobby Lobby this year. I believe I paid $12 for it, so it wasn't crazy expensive, and I like how neutral it is, so I can use it every year. And I really liked how it pulled in colors from the kitchen as well as the dining area into the living room. And then I have this electrical fire heater looking thing, and I really love it. It really puts off good heat in the winter time, and I have that year round. So on top of it, I just decided to add some pumpkins. The big pumpkin, I thrifted it, and I actually got 2 of those this year, and I got them for $2, which was, I think, a steal, because at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, even with their 40 or 50% off, they're still quite expensive. So for $2, I think I did all right. So I added that, and I have an open book and a little candle holder that looks really vintage. It's brass, and I added a candlestick inside of that, and I just think it looks really cute and vintage and just cottagey and cozy at the same time. Next to that, I just added a little lantern that I had, and I just added it there just so there wasn't a gap between the heater and the blanket ladder. So I added the blanket ladder. I normally have a fiddle leaf plant on this section. This year I just decided to remove the plant and add this blanket ladder and add a blanket, and it actually hides the trash can, which is behind it. So I haven't found a way to hide the trash can yet, so I usually put something there to hide it, so when you come in you don't see it right away until you sit down. But anyways, and then on the opposite corner, I always have this ladder, and I try to again use it to hide the cords that are on that corner section, because that's where the lamp gets plugged in, the radio, and then the heater also. So to hide it, I have this ladder, and I'm using some of these fall draped florals that I purchased last year. And then I'm also just stacking at the bottom of that ladder just some baskets and some corbel that I had for decor, and just added it there, and it just looks, you know, like a cottage forgotten spot. So I just think it adds a lot of coziness and style to that section. Kept it pretty simple because this is where Ezra has his toys inside these cubbies, and I didn't want to overdo it on this top section. I typically don't try to overdo with decor on this section above the cubbies, because he likes to play with his cards and roll them on top of them, and then, you know, he'll knock down some decor. So I left that pretty simple. If you haven't watched the video where I decorated my kitchen and my dining area, I really hope that you go and watch that video. I will link it again in the description, so that way you can watch it. But I'll briefly just kind of give you a rundown tour wise for what was my thought process when decorating the kitchen and dining area. So again, going with the simplicity and try not to overthink it, and just try to have simple decor to take down later was key. I love my Hutch. I really got inspired by the pumpkin sign that I made, and that's really what drove the whole styling for the Hutch this year. I had a hard time. I told my husband, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna decorate for fall. Like, I have literally no idea. And the decorations that I had in the bins were not necessarily anything that I was loving this year, and so I just told my husband I don't want to buy a whole lot of decorations this year, because Then the next year, the new coming year, I'm probably not gonna like the decorations I bought this year. So I got tired of that. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna use what I already got and use the pumpkins that I already got and see what I find at the thrift store and just make it work, you know what I'm saying? And so I really like that I did that. It really challenged myself to decorate a different way and not feel like I have to buy all the things. It's easy to fall into that trap because I've been a victim of that. So again, for the hutch, I really enjoyed styling this, and the simplicity of adding a couple copper pieces and wood and whites and greens in there was really something that really I love to look at. I really like the color combination. I really like the items that I chose. The kitchen shelves were something just kind of easy to throw together because it was things that I already pretty much had. So nothing new, and I really like the feeling of the house feeling so nice and cozy, but yet simple. Like I don't feel overwhelmed with decor, and I don't feel like dread to take everything down, because I don't know about you, I mean, it's fun to put it up and then it's kind of dreading to take it down. So I am really satisfied with what I was able to achieve this year. So the things that I did buy are things that I thrifted, and like I said, a couple things here and there from like Hobby Lobby, and you know, at their discounted price as well. So I feel happy and I feel satisfied with how things turned out in my house, and I hope you did too. So I thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you got inspired. I know it's a little bit late in the YouTube fall decorating world, but I hope that maybe it gave you some inspirations either to rearrange things or to decorate for next year, to keep in mind for next year. So I hope that you got just inspired or just entertained by watching how I decorated my living room this year, and just the changes that I made for year-round, really, in my living room as well. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you here, be a part of my amazing growing community here at Consider It All Joy. So I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye bye.